Hello everybody, that's here. Very happy to see all of you on the other side of the screen. Today I would like to wrap up my effort of 3 months testing of 7 water blocks on 4090, and I got additional 2 tests that I performed while doing the whole research, but it will be not related to any specific blocks. It will be more about what kind of water cooling configuration work or doesn't work for 4090 specifically. First question, if the rule that a single core radiator is still good enough for one component. Anybody who watch my videos, I'm saying for ages that you have one CPU, one GPU, like dual radiator is essentially is minimum requirement. So you can't go below that. But the question is, because we have more and more powerful components, is it still the case? Can you still pull off dual radiator on a loop that consists of 4090 and CPU? Or you need maybe a little bit more of the cooling power, like triple or something like this. So what I decided to do is make a simple test, and I tried to shut down one of the fans on my triple radiator and essentially somewhat reduce it to the dual radiator size. So through the third core, essentially water just coming through. Maybe there's some passive radiation, but I think it's negligible. So what we had here is basically try to see if it will work or not. But before we go for the test result, which is very simple actually, I would like to remind you that I have test bench which consisted of very simple loop, triple slim radiator, 27mm, 3 Apex metal fans. I have tubular reservoir with D5 set on maximum speed 5, and I have a Ryzen 9 overclocked CPU with a core block on it. So if you want more information, you can look into my previous video about testing of the 7 water blocks. So what I did, I take the standard configuration, 2000 RPM fans, shut down one, and try to run the test. I use worst case scenario. I unlock 600 watts on my GPU and overclock it a little bit. Unfortunately, as you can see, it didn't work. So the system consistently keep crashing, so I couldn't get any type of information out of it. So I decided, okay, hell with it. Luckily enough, I had a fans capable to spin 3000 RPM, so what if I give it a little bit kick and see if I actually can go for a little bit higher speed. 3000 RPM made a cut, so barely I was able to run my loop onto kind of equivalent of dual slim radiator with very fast fans. So essentially you can pull it off. Maybe it wouldn't be optimal and will be a little bit on the border of what's possible or not, but my old rules barely but still stands. 1 core per component, we can do it. But essentially I think that maybe my recommendation should be a little bit amended, and I think triple is a better choice, to be honest with you, for more reasonable noise levels and more reasonable temperatures. Now, let's move into my second test, which is less dramatic, but what I tried to do is I wanted to also experiment a little bit with the speed of the fans on my triple radiator and see what will happen if I will start slowly slowing my fans to the lower speeds and see how much temperature I'll get. So I did this test for 3000 RPM, 2500, 2000, 1500 and 1000 RPM, which kind of silent type of the build. And I measured the standard type of temperatures that we have, such as GPU temperature, GPU hotspot, and memory temperature. So you can see we have quite a bit of the difference between 3000 RPM and 1000 RPM, when I think the more or less sweet spot with accessible temperatures is about in the middle. So maybe 2000, 1800 is something that most people can comfortably run and had no problem with this. So that's basically 2 things that I wanted to share with you. Hope you find it interesting. And finally, I'm wrapping up this project, going to put this in a used product section in our store. Maybe some of you can or want to pick up those used blocks for your own use at discount. Otherwise, guys will come back with something different. I'm sick of GPU testing for sure. Thank you for watching. See you soon.